Welcome to the Lazy CEO Podcast, where Jim Schleckser, author of Great CEOs Are Lazy and founder of the CEO Project, features compelling experts and topics for CEOs of mid to large-size companies. Now, let's get started with the show.
Welcome, everybody, to the Lazy CEO Podcast. My name is Jim Schleckser. I am your host and the founder of the CEO Project. Well, one of the things that we talk about all the time in the CEO Project is building purpose into our business. And, if you go back to my midlife crisis, I read a book called Halftime. Honestly, I didn't actually agree with the premise of the book. The book talked about the idea that you would have success to significance. So the first half of your life, you build a career, you make money, you build success, and kind of the second half of your career, you build significance, whether that's deworming orphans in Somalia or whatever you choose to do with your life. But interestingly enough, different usually than your original purpose. And my thought was that this is really a mistake. In other words, there is an opportunity. If you've built this platform over time, a business, why wouldn't you use that for good? Why wouldn't you build purpose into your business? Why would you abandon this amazing platform that you've built and do something useful with it? So with that as the prelude, we have a guest today. And Jeff Maine is the CEO of Pay Proudly. They're a payment processing company. So they process credit cards for a variety of types of firms. I may actually let him talk about that at some point. But mostly what we're going to talk about is he has done a really nice job of building purpose into his organization, charitable donations and so forth, and really following the idea that business is a missional operation. We make a difference in the world in our way, and we have tremendous capability to do that. And he is embracing that as a business leader. So, Jeff, welcome. Glad to have you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Happy to be on your show today.
So, I'm not that bright, so it took me a while to figure it out. How did you sort of get to I need to build purpose into my organization, fairly early in your cycle, right?
Yeah, I've been in the payment processing business. I graduated college in the late 90s, got into the payment processing business then and have been in it since. So I'm 25 years now.
Okay, so you're not that bright either then. It took you.
Yeah, I guess maybe it took me a minute. So I still feel young. I just turned 48. So
you are young.
Yeah, so I'm still going hard and young kids growing up and enjoying what we do. And we've just had different opportunities in our life and we've been affected as a family by different causes too, and done different things with different causes. And my wife and I've just always had a heart for that, just always wanted to make a difference and be a difference. And we had the opportunity about 3 years ago through a partnership split up, and we were, looking and sitting down and thinking, okay, what are our next steps? What are we going to do now? And obviously being in the payments business for as long as I have, I know the business, I know how to, be successful in it. We know how to go build that business. And so it made sense for us to stay in our industry. But we just had a real desire to build a business with a give back and with a benefit of making a difference in our community through our business. And we wanted to do it from the very beginning. We wanted to make it we wanted to write it into our mission. And it's super interesting, when it was just a vision that we had, and we were sitting at the table talking about it, and we did it. But we thought it would be the small part of our business, right? We thought it would be it's the second part of our mission. The first part of our mission is bringing clarity to merchants in a space that there is no clarity.
Yep.
And that was the first part of the conversation, was what is the industry really lacking, right? And I said, well, it's clarity. There's no question. People don't understand it. People don't get it. And so our mission was written from that conversation: bring clarity and give charity. And so that's what we did. And it's become that we talk more about the charitable giving that we do than we do the clarity. And we give the clarity and we work hard on it. So I think that's just expected. But people come work for us because we're giving back. People want to be a part of our organization. People want to have these podcasts like this about, about why are we doing this and what are we doing? And I actually wrote a TED talk on this, and I wasn't able to give it because it came up, and just the quick story around it was my son played high school football. He's a freshman. He just finished his freshman year of college, and
Nice.
in his senior year, he was the TED talk came out, and it was going to be what potentially was his last ever high school football game. And I was not going to miss that. There was nothing in the world that could take me away from being there that's the last time those kids are going to put helmet and pads, and they're going to walk off the field, and that's it, and I wanted to be there for that. So but my whole TED talk was about, what if all businesses do what we're doing? It would fund every charity in America. That money would roll back into our businesses. We would not see a drop in revenue, I believe. And that was the premise of the whole paper was, man, or I should say the talk, but it was, if we could all get on board and we could all do this, it would fix it. It would fix it. And it was fun to write it, and never gave it, but it was fun to write it.
Well,
And
don't give up. There's always TEDx. There's,
that's right.
there
and
are platforms.
That's what it was. It was a TEDx talk,
Yeah.
but it was fun, and it really got my mind thinking about what I was doing and why I was doing it. And we're a faith-based family, and so I'm not, that has a lot to do with, I think, our hearts and where we're at, and that's our beliefs and who we are as people, and so I wrote some of that into my talk as well. And but I just feel like it's just really makes our business stand out. It makes us different than everybody else. And it's great. We've had, it's been fantastic.
So the giving, I mean, help me understand the elements of the give back, right? I know there's a financial element. There's literally a charitable piece where people can apply and be selected. Help me understand that bit, but then also, are there other bits of give back that you guys do as an organization?
Yeah. So, when we originally were developing the company, and we were like, all right, well, let's let every business pick a charitable organization and let's give to their charitable organization based on their business.
Yeah.
And that was a great idea until it came to the accounting.
Oh my God. You're sending 27 cents to some charity,
exactly.
Right? Like, forget it.
Yeah, you get it. So we started, and that's what we did for the first year. We were doing this, and we were sending these little checks, and I'm like, and then the checks wouldn't get cashed, and my CPA's like pulling their hair out, like, what are you doing? You've got to stop this. And so I'm like, all right. So we went back in and we revamped it. And so now what we do in our system, we ask our businesses, what's important to you? Like, what's a cause that, everybody has something that they've been affected by in some way. Is it hearts? Is it kids? Is it cancer? Is it what kind of cancer? Is it, what is it? And there's an organization out there that supports that. And then, and some businesses will say, well, who are you supporting? And we say, well, we're supporting the local food pantry, or we're supporting the local animal shelter, or we're supporting the, whatever it is. And we do different festivals. And, last weekend we sponsored an event that was raising money to put uniforms on kids in schools. And so we really try to look for more of those opportunities because we can get some branding out of it as well. And we want our businesses, this is a big deal in our business, and we talk about this a lot, that we want our businesses that do business with us to see that we're actually doing what we say we're going to do, without coming out on social media and saying, hey, this month we wrote a $5,000 check or a $10,000, we don't. I feel real icky about that. I don't like displaying the big numbers and what, but I want people to know that we are doing what we say we'll do. And I don't have anything to hide. If they ask, I'll tell them. But I don't want to be screaming it from the rooftops either. And so that's a constant conversation. And that's a funny one to have with your employees, because I think the employees they want to scream it. They think it's great, and so that's kind of a battle within the organization too. But we really pick it based on just what's going on and what events are happening and where we can get involved. And And then we kind of do an end of year campaign around, all right, we got X amount of dollars left in our charitable giving account. Let's get rid of it before the end of the year. And so we'll do a big Christmas drive, and we always kind of call it a 12 days of Christmas, and we get 12 different organizations and we kind of blow through the money and get it, gifted out.
Interesting. Well, I mean, it is on your website. I mean, I saw a bunch of big checks, physically big, and some of them big economically on your website. Right. So there is some level of promotion that occurs here. But I got a question about, so people apply, organizations can apply, maybe nominated by employees, maybe nominated by customers, whatever. You got this intake form. Then how do you decide? Is it like goes into a smoke-filled room and a puff of, and then there's an answer, or is it like an employee? Like, how do you mechanically do this so that it feels, to your point, transparent and fair? Because I know that's culturally important to you.
It is. And so what we've done as a business right now, and it's been working, and I'm not saying this is the all in, the final answer, because I don't think it doesn't seem like that ever works. But right now we're doing a all in team meeting is what we call it. We do it once a month. We bring in lunch. It's always the first Tuesday of every month. And we go through sales, how our month has been going and what's going on. And then part of that all-in team meeting is a charitable giving update, right? So who have we written checks to? What organizations have we supported? And what's coming up? What's in? And so all of our employees get a say in what we're doing. And then we always leave what we call kind of a slush fund sitting there for the business that walks in or the organization that walks in and says, hey, we're having this event. Will you guys participate, or will you do this? We don't want to tell people no. Right. We want to support and be there and be able to, be a part of these events. But we are pretty strict about if you're not a nonprofit, we're not participating. So, we have a lot of that. There are people, well, we're thinking about opening a nonprofit. Well, when you get there, let's have a conversation. But we want to make sure our dollars are actually going towards what they say our dollars are going towards.
Yep. Now, do you follow up in any way? Do you sort of audit it a year later, 6 months later, whatever, and say, hey, how did that play out?
Yeah, we do. And, being where we're located, I would say the majority of our businesses are located in our area. We're starting to branch out and do more and more business outside of our local area. And so that's going to be interesting when you start supporting more and more organizations that are not in your backyard, if you will, that you kind of know. But yeah, we do. We do follow up, and we look at what we're doing and how we're doing it, and making sure that we're living out the mission and the vision that we have for our business.
Now, the give back, so economic, are there other elements of give back, like service or service days or anything else that your organization does that you build into your purpose?
Not at the time. We're not doing anything.
So charity's the big one. Okay, that's fine.
We go to a lot of the events. I mean, obviously, we're there and we're supporting them, and but we're not doing anything other.
Got it. Okay. And does this come from a biblical point? Is this pure tithing, or is it some other sort of ratio that you're working on?
Yeah, that's a great question, and we talk about that a lot. And I think at the end of the day, it was a heart thing for my wife and I. That we just really wanted to build a company with more of a purpose than just providing what we provide. And just we know doing what we're doing and how we're doing it, we're not going to be the largest credit card processing company. We know we're not going to hit those marks, and we're not going to grow as fast as maybe some of these other companies are. But we're okay with that. We know what we need to do to be, a good company, and where we need to be. And obviously we do 10%. So, there's probably a tithing biblical principle.
So you do 10%. I mean, that's biblical. That's biblical tithing, man. That's
biblical tithing for the business. And so we do that. And we take it every month as our income comes in. We actually have a charitable giving bank account.
Yep.
And so as the income comes in, we transfer that money into the tithing account. Or, I say tithing, the charitable giving account. Yep. And that's how we make decisions on, how much money we can give and what we can do as a
Awesome.
business. I don't know if you've ever, there's the book out about the multiple bank accounts. And I'll say the name of it in a second, but it's a book, and it talks about multiple bank accounts in your business. And so we follow that principle, but we have a tax account, we have an operating account, all income account, a profit account. It's Profit First. I just had to walk through it. It's called Profit First. It's a great book
By Mike.
Yeah,
Mike Michalowski, I think it is, right?
I think you're right.
Yeah, I know the guy. He's a great guy. Yeah.
Great book. And we follow that principle in our business. And so it just made sense when we started doing this. I'm like, well, let's just open a charity account. And that's what it's called. It's called Proudly Charity. We have checks that are, pay Proudly Charity. And so when we write checks, we write out of that account. But what's nice about it is when the money comes in, that money gets transferred right over into that account. So it's already out of sight, out of mind. It's that's what it's for. It's for giving. And so when we're making decisions on what we're going to give or what we're going to do, we just look at the bank account. Well, we've got this many dollars in it, and this is what we can give. And so that's how we make all of our decisions on who we're giving to and what we're doing and how we're going to do it.
But it still sounds like centralized, like you, your wife, maybe an executive or two are making those final decisions.
Absolutely.
People get a say, but it's like what they say, you've got a voice, but not a vote. Like you've got the vote, they've got the voice.
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. My wife does run all of our charitable giving for our business. That's kind of her role. And so at the end of the day, her and I are making the decisions, but we are definitely listening to our businesses and to our employees. And hey, this week I have a business owner that has 6 or 7 businesses on our book of business, and they called me, and they're involved in an organization here locally that helps people start up. It's a business incubator kind of thing, and they called me and said, hey, we're having an event and we'd like for you to sponsor this event. Absolutely. Those are easy decisions to make. And that does so many things for our business. It just builds that relationship with him. We're going to get some branding out of it. There'll be a lot of other businesses that we work with that'll be there, and it just kind of solidifies everything that we're doing. And those are easy decisions to make, and it really builds the relationship. And in my opinion, has made our business just so much stronger.
Interesting. So, one of the your legal structure is what, an S or an LLC?
We're an LLC, treated like an S corp.
Got it. When you formed it, I mean, as a few years back, so maybe this wasn't quite a thing in those days, but B Corps have really become, benefit corporations have become a real legal structure that people like. I mean, I have a view on them, but did you ever contemplate being a B Corp as an option?
I have not. I kind of leave that stuff to the CPA, and her and I have these conversations and say, what do you think? What's the best, where's the best spot? And she says this, and I say, okay. I don't spend a lot of time researching.
Did not go to school for accounting, so you would.
That's right. That's right. I went to school for finance, and I'm playing with numbers every day, and it's great, and I love it. So
I actually, so you didn't consider it, so maybe I can lay this down. I actually don't think it is a legal structure that makes a ton of sense, because effectively you have synthetically created what is a B Corp. You've made a commitment to give back at a certain percentage. B Corp basically formalizes that in a legal structure, but you do it anyway. So, I mean, I don't know that you need to have that particular structure in order to, and there's a whole certification process, which feels like a bit of a way for somebody else to make money on this B Corp idea. So I think what you're doing is great, and I would not actually recommend a B Corp personally, but that's Jim's opinion. I mean, not everybody would agree with me, I'm sure. So, so I mean, just to press you a little bit on this, treasure and talent, right? So you're doing the treasure part. Is there an opportunity in the talent space for your organization that's worth thinking about?
When you explain to me where you're going,
I'll give you an example. Some companies say you get 2 or 3, 4 service days a year. Paid. You want to go work at your church. You want to go work at a Habitat for Humanity. You want to take, orphans fishing. Your call. We don't care, but we want to support with service. Have you ever thought about adding an element like that to your equation?
Yeah, and I'll say, we're a very we're a company that works with our employees exclusively, and there's not one single one of my employees that you could go talk to offline that would say, if they came to me and said, hey, I'm going to go do that, would you approve it, pay me for the day? Every single one of them know that I would approve that.
Got it. Yeah.
I've got my, head of operations that sits on her church board, and she takes time off to go, have their meetings
Sure.
once a month, and I pay her for those meetings. That's so in our DNA and who we are. But I also know if she has something that she missed and she needs to do it, she's going to do it when she gets home. I don't even have to question it, because we work together, and so we work with our employees, and we're big on vision, mission, values, and who we are. And I think, and all of our employees know that. It's one of the first things we do when we even are interviewing people. We have an extensive interviewing process, one that a business coach helped me write up, and it's sometimes grueling for me, where I just don't, but I know it's worth it in the end. And so we take that stuff so serious, and our employees know it. But it shows, I think, the giving, it shows who we are. That's the type of company we're going to be a part of, and what we're going to do, and how we, this is, I swore when I opened this company to my wife, this is it, like, I'm not going to open another one, startups are hard. They're fun for us. It's probably the most fun I've had again, from, getting a startup up and going is just a ton of fun. But it's a lot of work. And so I promised this was going to be it. And so we're really trying to do it right, and make it fun. One of our values is to come to work and have fun.
Yeah.
People, you need to have fun at work. And so, it doesn't always have to be fun, but you need to, and so, that's important.
So, given your hiring process, this may not be an issue, but have you ever had anybody that came in and said, I just don't buy in what we're doing here, and you know what, instead of giving it to charity, why don't you just put it in my pocket? Charity starts at home. I'd love to get a bigger bonus. I'd love to get a little more. Well, I don't understand why you're doing this. Pay me instead. Have you ever had anybody that pushes back against it?
We've never had an employee do that, because it is who we are and what we do, and we go so much into it in the hiring process. But I've had plenty of merchants that we're out signing that will say, hey, that's not important to me. I'd rather you save me that amount of money. And so we have to talk to them real quick about, hey, this is not, we're saving you money. We know we have to save you money, and this is our program, but this is us taking what we're bringing in, and we're giving it back, but we're going to give you the credit for it, because you, the business owners, without you as customers, we're not able to do this.
Yeah.
And so we're going to give you the credit, but it is how our business works. So every business on our portfolio participates in this program, whether they want to acknowledge it or not acknowledge it. We want to give them the credit for it, and it's who we are. The savings are still there, but we absolutely have merchants that will say, hey, that's not a big deal. Just I'll take that extra 10% off.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Knock down my bill a little bit. It wouldn't be 10%, but okay. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So the other guy that sort of created a huge amount of buzz over the last 5 or 10 years in this space is Dan Price over at Gravity Payments, right? So he basically did charity starts at home. I'm just going to raise everybody's salary to $70,000 and pay everybody, do you, so that's the other model, right? I'll just give it to my people and let them figure it out. You ever get any sort of in the market conversation around that, or like pushback, or gee, why don't you do it this other way? And I'm not saying one's right or wrong. I'm just asking a question.
No, and it's interesting. You bring that up, and I remember that happening and him coming out and doing that. And obviously he's a giant in this industry compared to what I am. And I'd love to talk to him today and see how that's
working out for him.
How's that working out? You and I both know that's just not feasible sometimes, but no, we don't, we're, sitting over here in our little niche, and we're doing our thing, and we're growing, and obviously we have, we can pay, we can pay what people can bring to our business, and we have people that make more than that, and we have people that make less than that, and so it's what are we doing and how are we building together? And we have great opportunities. We're hiring people right now that, that absolutely can make more money than that. And so it's just how you're growing your business and what you're doing. And so, it's, I think it all works out in the end.
Yeah, no, I'm all over meritocracy. So,
Yeah.
you bring it, I'm happy to pay, right? It's
And we don't know, if the employees we're paying, are they tithing to their church, or they not? But it doesn't matter to us. That what we do is with our personal funds is different than what you're going to do. And but our business principles are based on this, and this is what we're doing in our business, and we want our employees to know it and be a part of it. And we've absolutely been able to hire better talent because of it. We have not had, I think the people who are going to walk away, I'd want them to walk away. The people we've been able to bring in because of it has made a ton of difference.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, good. Yeah. Well, Jeff, just sort of maybe two things to wrap it up. What do you do for fun when you're not working with credit cards and clients and so forth?
We live, obviously, our office is in Bluffton, South Carolina. So we're right by Hilton Head. So Bluffton is the town you go through to get onto the island. And, so we live what everybody calls the low country, right? And my fun is being on a boat and being on the rivers, or going out onto the intercoastal and playing. And I love that. I love the water more than anything in the world. So I tell people my office away from the office needs to just be with an anchor drawn and just sitting out on the water somewhere. And that's my hobby. And we do a lot of my son's big into sporting clay, so we do a lot of sporting clay shooting, and so I follow him around doing a lot of that as well. So
that's fun, way fun. Awesome. And if people wanted to get in touch with you or your firm, what would be the best way for them to do that?
Yeah, so look me up on LinkedIn's a great spot, Jeff Maine, and then obviously, my website, payproudly.com. Email me, jmaine, MAINE, @payproudly.com. And we'd love to have a conversation with you if you'd like for your business to have more clarity in the payment space, and just have a free conversation. Conversations don't cost anything. And that's what we tell everybody. We have a AI generated proposal tool that we'll give you, and whether you take it back to your current provider or you do something else with it, that's okay. But maybe we'll teach you something that you should know about your business and how you take payments and what you're doing. And then if you decide to be a part of our program, obviously you'd participate in our give back program, and that's just a win-win for everybody.
Love it. Jeff, thank you so much. This was a great interview. I wish you good stuff. I wish every company in the United States would sort of take a page out of your notebook and do something along these lines. It'd be great.
Yeah, it'd be wonderful.
All right. Thanks for the time.
You. Thank you.
All righty.
This podcast is brought to you by the CEO Project. At the CEO Project, we work with CEOs to help them grow their business. And our members represent billions of dollars of revenue and profit. And frankly, amongst all of us, we've probably made every mistake in the book, including some you haven't made yet. So if you want to learn from the experience of a bunch of really seasoned CEOs, we're a great place to hang out. In this podcast, what you're going to hear are some of those ideas, concepts, and things that are just going to help you on your journey. If you want to find out more, reach out to us at theceoproject.com, or you can contact me personally at jim@theceoproject.com. Happy listening.
Thanks for listening to the Lazy CEO podcast. We'll see you next time, and be sure to click subscribe to get future episodes, and check out our website, www.theceoproject.com.